Welcome to the latest extra normal movie from the Access to Higher Education Sociology course. In this episode we will be offering an example of a moral panic.
Hopefully, we have already explained what a moral panic is. Although you know what we are like, there is every possibility that we have forgotten to mention this, and that Stu has gone off on one of his rants about the illusion of free will, or some postmodern crap.
Thank you, Josie. There is nothing like a good moment to start off an episode. Now if you have quite finished, may I begin my monologue on the moral panic?
Monologue? What do you mean monologue? I have got myself all dressed up for this. And I have read up on moral panics and everything. Go on, ask me a question. I bet you I know the answer.
Okay, what is the capital of Peru?
I meant a question about moral panics, you idiot.
Sorry, I lost track of what we were talking about. So, you want to join in then, okay? But only if you take off that silly tiara.
You are an idiot. You created this movie and made me wear this crap. Just shut up and let me introduce the moral panic we are talking about today. And if there is any more crap from you, I will personally throw you through this window.
Stop with all the crap references, will you? God, you are so foul-mouthed. I bet Graham does not get this kind of abuse teaching psychology. Oh, no, he gets to teach it all on his own. And what do I get?
I think we should leave this conversation for now. The students will probably have forgotten why they are watching this.
Have you seen our students? I am surprised that they remember what day it is, let alone what we are talking about.
One more word, Stu, and I swear, you are going through that window. This episode concerns the rise of the hoodie in modern-day Britain. We will consider the way that groups of teenagers over the last 7 to 8 years have quickly become villains of society, causing panic on every street corner and shopping centre they linger around.
Hoodies have excited some degree of panic and paranoia among the wider population. Of course, hoods on garments of clothing have been worn throughout history, with images of monks in the Middle Ages wearing hooded cowls coming to mind. Hooded jackets were particularly popularized in the 1970s as part of the hip-hop music scene, and as a result of being worn by Sylvester Stallone in the Rocky films. However, it was not until the 1990s that the term hoodies was generally used to describe these garments, when they became associated with the emergence of what were termed chaves, young disaffected working-class youths, in this country. And it was not until 2005 that the press and public were referring to hoodie culture.
It is particularly in the UK that hoodies have been regarded and reacted to in such a negative way, exemplified in them being banned from shopping centres such as the Blue Water Retail Park in Kent. This banning of hoodies and baseball caps,
officially stated as the wearing of clothing that obscures the face, hooded tops, baseball caps, will not be allowed,
brought the hoodie culture into the public arena, and raised the irony of shoppers being prevented from wearing an article that was still on sale in shops within the centre.
The move was welcomed by many, including the then Prime Minister Tony Blair, and the Deputy Prime Minister John Prescott, who saw it as an attempt to clamp down on antisocial and threatening behaviour. Hoodies became a political issue.
But debating the symptoms rather than the cause won't get us very far. Because, the fact is that the hoodie is a response to a problem, not a problem in itself. For young people, hoodies are often more defensive than offensive. They're a way to stay invisible in the street. In a dangerous environment, the best thing to do is keep your head down, blend in, don't stand out. For some, the hoodie represents all that's wrong about youth culture in Britain today. Others see it as how far adult society is from the long-term answer to putting things right.
The banning of hoodies from the Blue Water Shopping Centre in 2005 excited a great deal of media interest and debate. It led to the meaning of the hoodie being examined by journalists and academics. Although only a sweatshirt with a bit extra, the hooded top strikes fear into the heart of most people.
In the past, such appropriation was usually restricted to membership of specific youth cultures, leather jackets, bondage trousers, but nowadays it is the norm among young people to flag up their music and cultural preferences in this way, hence the adoption of the hoodie by boys across the boundaries of age, ethnicity and class.
The moral panic over hoodies is almost a continuation of a previous panic over chaves, working class, White boys who had underachieved in school and who, in the face of a bleak future in terms of respectable employment, turned to antisocial, delinquent behavior.
The rest of society resents and fears such groups. The respectable working middle class live in fear and loathing of the hooded chave underclass. Indeed, it was this resentment and response that led to the banning of hoodies from the Blue Water Center. And it was a response not just from respectable society but from other teenagers.
The moral panic about hoodies was part of a wider concern about the antisocial behavior of youths, and, as with other panics, the reaction has been criticized by academics and those working in the criminal justice system as excessive.
In spite of the differing political comments around the reaction to hoodies, the media reporting of hoodie culture has been both hostile and scaremongering, in line with the way the media has responded to other previous moral panics. Even though and at the same time as exciting this hostile reaction, the hoodie is a widely popular item of clothing that is in the wardrobes of millions of people, and is sold in the millions by firms such as Nike, Adidas and Gap. Recent murder cases have referred to the hoodie in their headlines, irrespective of whether this was a key aspect of the particular crime.
Justice for Dad killed tackling hoodies. A teenager was facing life in jail last night for shooting dead a young father who stood up to a gang of hoodies, Daily Express, the 28th of March 2007.
Named, the hoodie who shot dead Reese. Reese was shot dead in a pub car park in Croxteth Park, Liverpool, more than 2 months ago as he walked home from football practice with 2 friends. Police believe the hooded gunman was firing at a rival gang but missed and hit innocent Reese. Daily Express, the 30th of October 2007.
So hopefully you have seen how the moral panic process may be used to explain an event in recent history. If you have not quite got this, then let us go through the process step by step.
The panic begins with a deviant act of some form.
In this case, individuals wearing hoodies in a shopping center.
There is then a crime committed, as defined by crime control agencies.
The alleged criminal behavior of some hoodie thugs.
There is then the operation of news values. That is the selective practice in newsmaking.
The press made great issue of the gangs of hoodie thugs roaming the Blue Water shopping center, running out of control.
This then becomes allocated as crime and is reported in the news.
In this case, it was reported that crime figures had plummeted in the center since the banning of the hoodies.
There is then an element of deviancy amplification applied to the situation.
The public begin to link the drop in crime with the banning of hoodies. And they also begin to make accusations that all hoodies are thugs, loitering on street corners. The public begins to fear these groups and tars them all with the same brush. All hoodies are the same. Dangerous.
This is where the moral panic truly begins.
Campaigns around the country, led by the media, are set up to eradicate these individuals out of society.
The public begin to demand more action, and define all activities associated with the hoodies as criminal, even when they are not.
Often this will bring about immediate action by the police, but also delayed responses from the government, with reactive laws set in place.
This sets the activity of these youths into the context of crime. They are now criminals.
Society views every group of young people, hooded or not, as criminal. And as such, the moral panic is complete.
I hope that this short movie has offered a better understanding of the moral panic as applied to modern-day crime.
Before we go, Josie, can I show off some of my dancing skills again? I think the kids really enjoy my moves.
Right, Stu. I have had enough. You are going through the window. Say goodnight to the boys and girls.
Good night, everybody. And do not have nightmares.